about for the Olympics, or no, actually it was for the Super Bowl, about, hey, if you're going to Minnesota, be careful. The flu really sucks there. And Colleen, you are living proof.
Yes, I don't know. I took after my niece who had the flu. She had both flus. First she had A and then B and then whatever, or B then A. I don't know, but she had I decided to have a couple weeks in between the flus.
Good for you. Yeah.
The Great Northern Sex Cast did not happen last week, which I really wanted to happen because it was the week before Valentine's Day, which is today. Yeah. It's on hump day. And honestly, the 13-year-old in me just giggled.
Okay. I sent an email. I have this deadline every Wednesday morning, and I sent it in to this team that I work with, and I said, happy hump day. And then I put in parentheses, that's particularly filthy on Valentine's Day. You know, here's to my inner sophomore. You know, I did the same freaking thing.
And here was the best part. None of us thought about it here. It was on Monday, my sister went, hey, Wednesday's hump day. And we just went.
How did we miss that?
Tara and I just went, How did we? It's like the line of dildos we got in a while ago. I looked at it and they're all military themed, and they're called Major Dick, and we're like,
that's
how. I mean, every now and then we run across something. It's like, how has no one ever done this? I mean, and when someone comes up with it and they do a search, they must be like, oh my god.
Oh, that's
I guess
so
people
awesome.
Probably assume it's been done.
Well,
you know, that has to be it. You know what I mean? It made us giggle when I wandered by. I said, how has this never been done?
What a great gift for a guy or anybody going off on deployment to give their partner a military themed dildo.
Yeah. There's Coast Guard, Navy, Army, Marines. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you for your service. Just saying. So just a few things. Kanye West, I don't know. I just can't look at any of those people without just going, really, you guys? Come on. It's really. They're all cartoons to me.
I can't. It's like they. I don't know how I would react if I had that much fame and money. I mean, I have, I'd like to think I wouldn't be an ass. But I don't really know because I don't have that much fame and money.
Right.
But then again, Tom Hanks isn't an ass.
No.
And Denzel Washington, as far as I know, is not an ass.
No.
But other people seem to be. Yeah, I don't know. But then again, in real life, some people are asses, some are not. This happens to have. So, and I couldn't even name a Kanye West song if you tried.
Oh, I couldn't either.
And I've seen the fashion stuff that folks come out with, and I guess if you're a creative person, you want to go in different directions.
Sure.
But when I see, and I'm looking at this list right here, and I see McDonald's and Kanye West in a sentence.
Right. Naked models.
I am confused.
Let's throw another wrinkle.
Well, no, naked. I mean, honestly, naked models. What it really does. Half the time you can see all the body parts of nodels. I've made up a new word. Naked and models are nodels. I like it.
What's a nodel?
But this sentence, naked models flock to McDonald's for Kanye West fashion launch. I just looked at it and went, I can't even.
Where's the health department?
I can't even figure out where that works. So I'm glad that I don't have to wait any longer to find out what the hell it is.
Well, here it is.
Okay.
So Yeezy is the name of his line, which makes me queasy. Mm-hmm. And it's Yeezy Season 6. So they basically had this fashion show, and a lot of them weren't even wearing clothes. Paris Hilton was there, and a lot of them didn't even have clothes on, and they were there for a fashion lunch. And really, I think you encapsulated everything in your question about it. I mean, because really, it was just a bunch of people wearing stuff that no normal person would wear.
Yeah, I mean,
ever.
And it works. I mean, we're chatting about it, but I mean, there should be at least something that's relatable. I'm currently, I believe in leggings as pants.
Okay.
I am wearing them now. I have a Target t-shirt and a polka dotted cardigan on in pink because it's Valentine's Day.
Sure.
I am not, I practically wear slippers as shoes, halfling or whatever, because I, busted the ankle. So I'm not, going to be best dressed. It's just not going to happen. But I'm confused by shit like this. I try, and I get, I'm pretty open-minded. I don't get some of this fashion shit. I just don't.
I love fashion, but this is preposterous, so whatever. Yeah. And just in Paris Hilton, if you put Kanye West, Paris Hilton, and Kim Kardashian, it's like, I'm done. Like you just, okay, Kelly drops the mic. Like that, just never mind. Okay. So how to tell if a man is good in bed by shaking his hand. Now, let me just ask you, do you have any preconceptions or judgments surrounding handshakes? Are you a person that feels that way?
When you get a wimpy handshake, and I don't care whether it's from women or men, I'm a little ooged out, but it passes. I just keep it to they're bad at handshakes. Okay. I honestly, not that I thought about it before you asked, but and I think, but no, I don't.
Because I do.
I don't. Now,
I totally judge.
But if you crush my hand,
I don't like that either.
Then I'm like, nah, you're overcompensating. You're an ass. Yeah. You're mean. I've known some, because in my experience, folks that are very strong but are kind think about what they're doing.
Right.
So if you crush my hand, but if you're a weenie, you could not like germs. There's a whole bunch of reasons, and I'm just like, I'm not saying it doesn't sort of, that I don't notice it, and I'm not sort of weird, but I don't carry it on to the rest of them. But,
I'm not as good of a person as you are, clearly, but before we go into what we're actually supposed to be talking about with this story, I will say this: there is a thing that some women do that they stick their hand in your hand. Like they're off and they don't do anything. And it's like, and I'm like, what do you want me to fucking kiss it? Like either shake my hand or just put that thing back. Because it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's just, they just kind of, have you ever had that where they just kind of go like
they
that?
They sort of like put their hand out. Am I supposed to, move your arm, do something.
Get involved.
Yeah.
Get involved.
A handshake is two people.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So what I was just complaining about actually is on the other side of the story. So basically they're talking about firm handshakes, but not squeezing you to death is a sign of, virility. And people that have like wimpy handshakes, not because they choose to be wimpy, but literally because they don't have the capacity to squeeze, are more likely to suffer from erectile dysfunction.
Lack of blood flow?
Probably. Yeah. And so anyway, but you're right. I mean, there's people that just because you can, should you squeeze the shit out of somebody's hand? No. But, you should be able to have the firmness. But there are some people that literally just can't clamp. And so I guess you probably know me well enough to know by now where I'm going with this. Women that just stick their hand out like a fucking lump fish, if the same thing is true about how you are in bed, just saying.
Oh God!
Okay.
Yeah, I could see. I've always had a pretty decent handshake. I think
I do too.
Yeah, it never occurred to me. Just hey, how you doing? I mean, and then once I know someone, I'm a pretty good hugger.
You're a good hugger.
I'm a hugger person. Yeah. I tell you,
I like hugging.
Yeah,
hugs are good.
But I find out. I ask. I always have because I know there are people that are not huggy people.
Oh yeah,
and I'm not going. I have a friend who's not really a huggy person, but she's close like that. And so we do sort of, when we say goodbye sometimes, the
side hug,
the side hug, sort of into the shoulder thing, just a little bit.
The side nudge.
Yeah.
Those are fine. Okay, this utterly and completely cracks me up. Whoever thought of this, I love it. They did an experiment. They blindfolded people to squeeze volunteers' butts to see if they could guess their gender. Come on, how is that not funny? Just the idea.
Why wasn't I asked?
I know. I would sign up for this.
I'm a little pouty. Okay. I've mentioned this, and folks have been listening for the past 3 years. You know that I did perform at the Minnesota Renaissance Festival and then visited other ones for about 20 years in my youth. And different time, there was butt grabbing.
Oh yeah,
and a good, depending on context, it's all about context.
Oh, consensual ass grabbing is just fine with me.
And so that would be awesome.
So this is a whole group of people.
Yeah, but I'm good at it. I have skills.
Yeah, well,
and I was not asked.
I think you can Google this, and there's a video of it out there. So, and you're going to want to Google Distractify. And so they went out and they would grab the derriere in front of them. And this was done here in the United States. They can only identify 14 of 30. So they had a less than half 50% success rate.
Okay, I'm going to have to do this because I'm just thinking, depending on the fabric, I mean, there are just certain things.
Bright pink cycling shorts.
Yeah.
Spandex.
Okay, so everyone was wearing okay.
Yes.
So it wasn't like they just
jeans
had versus a skirt. Okay.
No, but
in a pair of cycling shorts is going to firm things up. I think you, but then again, it does it the same for everyone.
Yeah. But there were two people that got them all right, which I think is super funny. What does that mean?
That means they are incredibly tactile individuals.
Well, just saying. Okay. I'm laughing and I realize that, this is bad, but it's fucking funny. So school children in Great Britain were supposed to be watching a Paddington Bear movie and porn came up.
That happens every now. This is like on a cable, it wasn't on just
they
regular.
Streamed it to show at the school and didn't watch the whole thing.
And so something
was embedded. Yeah. It was the Paddington 2 movie, and the parents were just, I was absolutely disgusted to hear it from my child's mouth. You expect to have it safe in a school, blah, 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 blah.
There's no such thing as perfect. I mean, how are they supposed to know? I mean, now the person that would get in trouble should be the person who's put it in there, not
Well, they didn't watch the whole stream. They just picked the and didn't, they probably just picked one that wasn't the right thing. They're calling it a filter failure, but now they're going to have a big meeting to discuss further. It is what it is, people. It's over. We'll watch.
What's part with there are stuff for kids there, and there are movies for kids, there are movies for adults, and a section of movie for adults got in yours. Sorry about that. Move on.
Yeah. I mean, how many meetings and committees and bitch sessions do you have to have? It's over. The kids are over it. I promise you that. the kids don't fucking care anymore.
Kids have probably already seen it anyway.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, just walking in on your parents, for Pete's sake. I mean, if it's Paddington Bear, these kids are probably, 6 and under?
Probably.
I think they haven't wandered in on their, they don't know what they're looking at.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's just funny. So, okay, there's so much happening in this next one. Feminist sugar baby. Okay, that's an oxymoron right there. She's claiming she wants to empower young women. So let's just set the stage here. So we've got...
So sugar baby in general is just someone who outright says... They just want a rich guy to pay for shit.
Yes.
Okay.
It's very upfront, which I do kind of give them a little credit for versus, pretending that you really love somebody or whatever. It's this is purely about, exchanging money for, okay. So this chick, her name is Jean Marie Almula, and she's 25. She lives in Miami. Okay. So she says, I'm an absolute sugar baby, and she yachts around, very extravagant lifestyle, and she bankrolls it with bags of cash from different sugar daddies. Okay, but she's like, I'm a champion of women's rights. She's written a self-help book, and she runs around and speaks at Girl Scout meetings. Now, if you want to be pissed, parents, don't be mad at porn sneaking into Paddington. Be upset with your troop leader for booking this bitch. I'm just saying.
No, mind you, if you want to book a group at a college where everyone is at 18 plus, but a Girl Scout group. Now, mind you, what she's particularly doing is saying, if these dudes are willing to give me money so that I can stand in bikini next to them, I mean, I'm not sure who has the power when you're that blatant about it. Where the power, honestly, I think to some extent the power can be particularly, it's going through there. But certain things are just Girl Scout groups.
Girl Scouts. Yeah.
Now, did she talk about that or the other self-help stuff?
I don't know. But I mean, there's a background thing
because these kids can, they can Google.
Yeah. Okay. But here's the thing that makes this a little insidious to me.
Okay.
more than a little. Another reason. Okay, so this girl, when she was 17, she was sent to live with her father's family in Abu Dhabi for 7 months. She had to wear a hijab. She couldn't leave the country after her uncle confiscated her passport. So she knows what this kind of oppression stuff looks like, right? They had her promised to a sheik in an arranged marriage, and she managed to get back. Her mom intervened and got her back. So then what does she do? She comes over here and basically whores herself out for money. And then, so, I mean, it's pretty much the people boomerang between the two extremes if you don't have any moderation. Yeah.
And like I said, there are plenty of sites. She's out there. She's not pretending. She's not doing anything she isn't.
I do admire that.
Yeah. I mean,
she's upfront about it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I get. She's like, this is how I want to do it, and and we'll just call it what it is. If she's sleeping with these guys, sex work is work. Yeah, I mean, and then this is what she decided, and I don't have any issues with that. I do think that the one part of her, one way she makes money by, let's just, be blatant, sort of extorting it out of guys for, to some extent, whatever, or the self-help books, the one doesn't particularly help the other if you're writing it for youngsters and stuff like that. I mean, especially, I mean, it shouldn't make a difference, but it does.
Right. Right.
Like I said,
yeah, I know. It's just like one of those things. Okay, so this next story, is about a text exchange between a father and a daughter, and it's pretty funny.
Oh, I will go down the Reddit exchanges with parents and black hole any time of the day. If my dad was still alive and we ever taught him how to text, I mean, his comments just on the phone are hilarious. So I can imagine
he would have been a treat.
Oh, yeah, the crap that would have come out of his thumbs,
so to speak,
would have been hilarious.
Yes. Okay. So, I'll read the text thing, and then I got to tell you just one of the most cringeworthy moments at a wedding I've ever heard regarding a similar subject matter. So this chick from New York shared a screenshot of her father's text messages on Twitter. She said, "I told my dad I went home early from work because of lady issues." And he responded, "Aw, shit. Which lady bothered you enough to go home? You want me to speak to that bitch?" So that's adorable.
That is so sweet.
It's adorable. And she goes on in this article to talk about like he's just like what you described you think your father would have been like, right? Okay, so I'm at a wedding. This is 2 years ago now. And it's with a client, a really kind of an esteemed family, very accomplished, whatever. And the son that was getting married, great guy, marrying this, they're Ken and Barbie looking couple. And you know how now everybody gets to talk and toast? Like, it gets to the point where I just want to basically chew off my own arm most times.
I have, I've managed to avoid that, and I have been Maid of Honor twice.
Sweet. You don't like to speak?
I don't mind it, but like I said, I used to perform, but I'm not fond of doing it as me.
Oh,
Put me in a costume, hell, no problem, or this or that, or it just, I could be behind that persona, and also, I haven't been in any of this. It's been 25 years, so I was much younger at the time too.
I wish more people felt like you, because it's gotten to the point where everybody
it's a production number. No, it's been a long time. I haven't been. The last wedding I went to was for a friend's kid. It was like the first wedding. He was the first kid, and then he had the first wedding, and now he's got the first grandchild. Aww. And we all just at third went, we're not young.
Yeah,
but it was a really, it was a very, it was a nice wedding. It wasn't overboard. They were obviously, they're topsy-turvy over each other, and it was just sweet to be able to see that.
Sure, but did every single fucking family member have to come up and give a toast?
No,
and tell stories. Okay,
I remember it being fairly reasonable.
Awesome. Well, so the father of the bride got up during dinner. Okay, key part of this.
So you're stuck because you're sitting there shoveling food in your face.
And he proceeds to tell a story about his daughter having her period and calling him to bring her tampons.
Oh, Jesus.
I'm like, when is that ever appropriate? But, like, really? I mean, and he's like laughing, and I guarantee you, no one else was. It was like, oh, please shut up.
Yeah, just go on. No, I mean, my dad brought our Doberman to school in 8th grade, for speech class, so I could say, for how to wash a dog.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fun. I mean, it's a sweet thing and all that sort of stuff. But I'm pretty sure my dad, had I had my period in 8th grade, would have brought me tampons if I needed them.
But would he talked about it at your wedding?
But there is no way in hell that man would have stood up at a wedding and said this shit.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't anything this guy wouldn't do for me, but he's not going to do that. No.
Of course he would have. But yeah. No. Oh God, it was so awful. Okay. This is just hilarious. The Phoenix Open, I don't know if you know this, but anybody who likes golf, watches it, plays it. The Phoenix Open is known as the rowdiest tournament in golf. And it just happened. It just wound up, not this weekend, but the weekend before.
Okay.
And it's called the Waste Management Tournament because that's who sponsors it. It's huge, which is also kind of hysterical and ironic. But
I bet my brother watches it. He likes a good golf game.
God.
He was good. He's a really good golfer until, I think he's still a good golfer. It's a little tougher after shoulder surgery.
Of course. Yeah. Well, it's rowdy, and I've been, and it's hilarious, and it's ridiculous.
So is it not nearly as quiet and as staid as other stuff?
No. They have caddy races. I mean, they do everything completely.
Now, do they? And there's professionals there and everything.
Oh, yeah.
It's like their vacation from the seriousness of other stuff. Is it a PGA thing? Or
yes.
Okay.
I mean, it's a big deal.
Okay.
I mean, it's huge. So, there's always something, and it's really hysterical to go watch all we call them snotty Scotty hotties because it's in Scottsdale. These chicks wearing like their 6-inch Manolos and trying to walk across the grass, like aerating the lawn. It's just okay. Anyway,
I did that at my sister's wedding.
Did you aerate
I was out in the garden. I aerated the lawn. Yes,
perfect.
Yes, I had to do that as I took. I'm like, there's a snake. There was an ant, sort of weaving and snaking up her dress, and I'm like, do I reach out and get it? Do I turn around? At one point during the ceremony, I just had to reach out and grab the ant and get rid of it. I figured as the maid of honor, this was my duty to remove
debug the bride.
Yes.
Yeah.
Awesome. And I'm like, yeah, here we go. Just watching it. Okay,
well,
sorry.
the only real, aside from explaining that if you ever want to go to a really fun event, go to the Phoenix Open. This year, the first day was marked by 24-year-old Adam Stahlmach streaking drunk and breakdancing on the 17th hole. Yes.
So it's not just stopped to break. Okay. Yeah. Do you suppose there were grass stains
on his ass? Yes.
Yes. Because I always thought. They put down cardboard, and they usually wearing. There's.
Oh no, he went for it. Wow. Nicely done, Adam. Big props.
I know. I had no idea. If more golf was like this. I used to golf. Before I've had 2 shoulder surgeries, so that takes out, that blows out that.
Yeah,
but
I love
it
golf.
Usually involved. The favorite part of it was the bar cart. Depending on where you were, yeah,
for sure. I think nothing could improve golf, in my opinion, except for maybe nudity. So I'm excited about it. A self-professed vagina mystic is trying to teach women to empower themselves through their vaginas. She describes herself. I know. Let it go. Let it all out, Colleen. It's okay.
It is just so wrongity wrong.
Well, she calls herself a vagina witch, which I think that's what men call all women, is vagina witches. Like, what's new about this? That was my thing.
Do you suppose maybe she should order the cakes from that place up in with the vagina geode cake?
I think for sure so. Yeah.
That she needs. Oh, I love the fact that went viral.
I do too.
Oh, that was. I'm not even. We're not even going to post it because I'm sure anyone who's listened to this has probably seen it in the Twin Cities.
Oh, for sure.
But it was Nadia Cakes, and they made a pink cake with a pink crystal and purple geode in it, and people kept thinking it looked like a vagina. And the social media outpouring on this thing was amazing.
Well, good for Nadia Cakes.
Giggled my brains out. That's what I'm barely functioning last week. I run across this. I laughed until I was coughing my brains out.
For sure.
And I'm like,
they've won Cupcake Wars. By
yeah.
And, show is so funny.
Yeah, but I'm thinking the Vagina Mystic though would need the vagina cake.
Oh, absolutely. Sorry, so she says some of the work she does is like yoga, but she says sometimes she uses a jade yogi wand. So I'm going to let you all just go read the rest of that article. But she does work with women. She's out of Melbourne, Australia, and she works with women from 20 to 70 years old all over the world because a lot of her services are offered through Skype.
Just really, it's like, we have things you could use as wands, and I think it's going to work a lot better.
Just call yourself a vagina witch and go to town. Or it makes me think of the Van Morrison song. She calls herself a vagina mystic into the mystic. Yeah. Just saying.
It's just
saying.
Every now and then I'm like, if people, then again, once again, she's out there doing this, and if people are actually paying it for it, she's not hurting anyone.
God bless you for making a living.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of other ways you can make a living that, you could be like drilling in the Arctic or something and destroying things. This is just a person that thinks you should commune with your vagina. Mm-hmm.
And if you need instruction,
yes, she has.
Get help. That's fine. So we'll post this article on the Great Northern Sex Cast Facebook page. Mm-hmm. It's about what do the sex dreams mean, which I think a lot of people would like to know. So I'm going to hit the highlights.
Okay.
One, if you dream about cheating, they say that if you are the cheat, it might be a sign you're feeling unfulfilled. If you're getting cheated on in a dream, it could be your own insecurity or jealousy, kind of bubbling into your subconscious. Ex-sex. They said dreaming about your ex-lover doesn't mean you want them back. It just could mean you still have some feelings about the breakup, or you're trying to work through fears about a new relationship.
Or there's a big chunk of that person in your brain. It's going to seep into your dreams.
Right.
I mean, it's not like it just goes away. Mm-hmm.
Same sex if you're heterosexual. It just could be about accepting your own character traits. And the attributes of a woman you're dreaming of, if you're female, reflect what you want, need, or desire, or that you aspire to be. Okay. Inappropriate sex. Wow.
Well, that's vague as hell, but I suppose they decided to not be, keep the article less freaky.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so, that one is people we see frequently can be regular characters in our dreams. Doesn't mean we have any romantic feelings or meaning. It just means your brain merges with real life. Can I just tell you, I have had two things with coworkers. One was the funniest. I'm dreaming. My sister had just put in a new bathroom, and my dream was I'm in the new bathroom and I'm looking in the mirror, and the bathtub was behind me, and one of my coworkers was sitting in the bathtub, not with water in it, just working. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, what are you doing in here? Like in this bathtub, dry.
Yeah. See, I don't have stuff like that. My dreams that merge with reality are me doing things like the laundry and household chores and working. I wake up exhausted as when I went to bed.
Yeah.
This is what my brain's doing. It does mundane, ordinary things in my dreams.
See, that's too bad. Laundry, you said once.
Yeah, laundry, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's other fun, but I would say that's the majority of my dreams.
It's so funny. Mm-hmm. I work a lot in my dreams, mm-hmm. which isn't always, good. I wake up tired. Mm-hmm. Okay. South Korea.
Okay.
The poop needle. Have you heard about this?
The what?
Yeah.
No.
So people that are traveling to South Korea are literally being warned about the poop needle, and it's this whole it's a pastime, and it's kids are running around. Not all kids, but people are running around, and they are jamming their index and middle fingers into people's butt cracks randomly on the street. It's a popular prank.
This is a thing?
And dongchim is what they call it, which translates into poop needle in Korean.
No, this I'd missed. Lots of stories because the Olympics are going on. Do you watch any Olympics?
Not really.
Yeah, there's another thing we haven't got. It's there. I don't have regular, it's hard. I can't figure out how to get to my broadcast TV all that well anymore, so I don't watch it. And I don't particularly, if they plunked cameras on an event, mm-hmm. and just let you watch it, mm-hmm. I might do it. But I don't need the commentary, and I don't need all the backstory. Just mm-hmm. plunk the damned camera.
Yep, let me see
on something and what's going through there. Because, this is shit I can't do.
Yeah.
The Chloe Kim thing is amazing. She already had a gold, and she goes down and does the third run, and, and then she beats it again. She's like, yeah, I can do better. And she just did it for her own personal best.
She's
she's
crazy,
17 years old.
Well, and I love her story because her parents are from there.
Oh, yeah.
And then she goes back as an American. And when I was listening to her sound bites, she's such an American kid.
Oh, yeah.
It's such a circular American story, you know?
Yeah, it's just, it is really, it's like, I mean, that I couldn't, you know, that of course was in the feed, you know, I couldn't miss that and all sorts of other stuff. And I'm like, but I didn't watch any of the opening ceremonies or I don't watch the closing ceremonies. I just, maybe because I'm not a sporty person. I don't know.
The only closing ceremonies I've watched was a few years ago when it was in England, and because they had all the best British rockers performing, and Annie Lennox was a central figure in it, and I absolutely made time for that one. I'll tell you. They had her coming in on a ship. It was crazy. Love her. So speaking of Great Britain, doctors have been told to hang rainbow flags in waiting rooms to make them more welcoming to gay and transgender patients. And there's a big controversy. People are kind of pissed about it. And even LGBT people are saying, you know, there's a lot more to making me feel comfortable than flag.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I would assume that most clinics have web pages and that most clinics have, you know, that there's newsletters you're going through there. I don't know how the National Health Institute works and all that sort of stuff. And you've been going some places, but it's going to be the actions of, I mean, the person that greets you at the receptionist.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
Or, you know, that's going to do more for welcoming or stuff like that. Or when you make an appointment, or the fact that on a form that you fill out, it has more than male or female when you're doing it. That's going to be a little more. But then again, symbols are powerful. So having a couple of things up, it's at least a clue that they thought about it. Yeah. It might, you know, I mean, it's not. You know, it's not, but if you think that's the only thing you got to do.
See, it could be a very hollow gesture. So I think it should be left up to, you know, individual practitioners as to how they want to present themselves, their practice, and treat people, and they'll attract kind patients. You know what I mean? So
yeah, if you just have to accept
for sure. For sure. So there's an especially lengthy story about 5 Brits going to Cambodia and getting in trouble and arrested for pornographic dancing. This was a crackdown on rowdy tourist antics. And this is the type of story. And, you know, Cambodia would be interesting to go to. I mean, I there's all sorts of places in the world that I'd like to go. But, you know, this is a really kind of stark reminder of you can't do the shit you get away with at home anywhere else in the world necessarily.
And then the idea that you can go someplace and maybe even act how like you wouldn't act at home. I mean, honestly, the only place in the world that advertises that is Vegas.
Yes.
That shit does not work anyplace else. I just, why would you do that?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. It's just, I'm fascinated by the fact that, you know, and I'm assuming they were probably drunk off their ass too.
Yes. Out of 87 people corralled in the raid, 77 were educated and released. The other 10 are facing pretty serious charges. So that would be bad. Okay, so we've talked about similar things. This is a different story, but this idea has come up. A Victorian, quote unquote, masterpiece that shows young naked water nymphs seducing a man has been removed by an art gallery after concerns about raunchy content. This is a pre-Raphaelite painting. It's called Hylas and the Nymphs. And now there is a blank space there. And people are trying to argue whether or not, you know, in the Me Too world that we're in, if this sort of thing needs to be eradicated or if we should be not denying, you know, our, you know, the history. And some of the comments were, where did you put the sexy booby woman painting? And, you know, some people are saying, I resent your restrictive, patronizing format. So people are saying, in one hand, you're engaging in revisionist history. Other people are saying that you're trying to be respectful. Thoughts?
One of the things that always drove me insane is that when, you know, when people pull like ordinances against showing nipples and doing this and that, and then you could go down to any museum and see all the boobs you wanted.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that a 500-year-old painting of a boob is art but a photograph that was taken 20 minutes ago is obscene. The hypocrisy of that has always, messed with, driven me crazy. And, it's about context again. And it's just the idea that the human body is obscene drives me nuts. Mm-hmm. And so both sides are wrong.
Yeah.
It's rare that when both sides get it wrong.
Yeah. Well, and if
you want to put up, one, you don't have to go to the museum. Two, you could say, put up the context of how and why this painting was written. And, honestly, you could have, there's all these 6x8 explanations of paintings, but another 6x8 explanations of paintings saying the context of when it was done and why it was done and how it was looked at in the 1950s, or if it was, or how it is looked at now.
Yeah.
Because art, this is the sort of the cliche of art's in the eye of the beholder is sort of true. And that's the same thing with, let's say, the fact that it's going to be hard to watch stuff that Woody Allen or Bill Cosby or folks have done. Yeah. There is context, and it is hard to. Some people can separate it. It's difficult for me. I could not enjoy if it was still on the Bill Cosby show.
Yeah,
it's too icky. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I feel horribly bad for everybody else in the cast and everyone else who would get residuals and paid because they're out a crap ton of money.
Yeah.
But I don't think, but that's like in the past 30 years. And there is a difference between 30 years ago and 200 years ago.
Yeah.
And a painting and stuff like that. And it's about context. And if someone wanted, you could come up with a cable. People will probably protest this too, but you could come on with an online subscription service for they call it controversy TV.
Yep.
And that the folks that wanted it could pay for it.
Yeah.
Going through there. There's a way to have the art out there, but but I don't, because symbols are powerful. This is why you yank the Dixie flag. It has nothing to, and stuff like that. But would I go to the Museum of Modern Art and remove a painting of the Civil War or something that had the flag in the background? No, because it's more of it's that's where you put it. Yeah. The statues in the main square? No. Put it somewhere where you can talk about the context. And I think a museum is a perfect place to talk about context.
Well, I'm going to leave it on this note. There are 5 water nymphs to one dude. So I would say that these guys who's taking advantage of whom? I'm just saying. Okay. Well, that's it for this week. We've got a double episode week here, so stand by. We've got more GNS coming up.